1988 was pretty flippin' cool because, you know, Marty McFly had just come out with the movie. Jim Varney wore leather pants and drove a DeLorean. So there's my Ernest story. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
My question is, if you were going to be the topic of a hilarious or embarrassing Weekly World News story, what unfortunate thing would you like to be famous for?
Wow! What would I like to be famous for?
I mean, you know, alien abduction cheerleaders. Would you be a cheerleader? Like.
Let's see. I gotta think about this one. Yeah, you know, quite frankly, Speight mauled by cheerleaders might have a nice ring to it. Supermodels attack Speight, hunted down by brunettes. Yeah, something along those lines.
Excellent choice.
I don't know if we reverse that. I don't know. I don't know what else. I'm not really big to the abduction, the probing. It's not my bad. The chainsaw thing seems kind of, I don't know, a little over the top. So I'm going to have to go with the attacked by a roving gang of scantily clad cheerleaders. You want that?
Thank you.
Sure.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Alice.
Hi, Allison. Richard.
Pleased to meet you. Tall Tales and Mystery Spot are both two of the most favorite episodes of my family, my household.
Great, thank you.
Especially Tall Tales. I mean, we love it. Please tell me what it was like filming that scene in the auditorium, watching Jensen get bashed around the face.
I'll tell you, the easiest day's work I have ever had. My job was I walk in, I'm like, okay, so I do the scene. I'm gonna sit, and that's it. Okay, good. I'll just sit, and I'll just improv some lines while he gets tossed around. Great. And by the way, he's working his tail off because that dude did his own stunts for that. So you know, when they throw him on stage, he did the big run and bounced off the springboard and hit the wall, and you know, he did his own work there. So you know, I'm thinking, oh, good for you, man. And my job was to, you know, I'm thinking to myself, I should probably clap, and then it turns out my job was to clap and cackle. So it was fun. The only bummer was that, you know, I had to continually eat candy bars, which, if you ever, you know, I've done a few commercials in my day. There's nothing worse than having to continually consume product. And we had a lot of candy bars, but you know, you don't get a lot of sympathy from your co-star when you're saying, I'm eating too much chocolate, while he's getting, you know, tossed around by sweaty stuntmen. Although, quite frankly, it wasn't exactly the coal mines for that cat either. He's up there getting punched by, you know, girls in bustiers. So, you know, I didn't weep a tear for that dude, but that scene was really fun. It took a really long time to shoot because there's a lot of orchestration as far as, you know, walking in, having the conversation, turning it into a battle. Chainsaw guy shows up, other guys show up, kill me, think they kill me, didn't kill me, and then all that stuff. So it took like a couple of days to actually do, and it was so much fun because it was a fairly intricate ballet, but there was a lot of free play in it as far as like the fight orchestration and all that stuff, and that was really fun.
Thank you.
Sure. Hi.
Since you didn't die, are they planning to have you back on the show?
I'll tell you when I'll know that. I'll know that just a few weeks before you know that. They don't tell me these things. You know, I did the episode, the Mystery Spot, where I sort of say, you know, that's for me to, you to know me to find out, or something like that. Me to know you to find out indicates, one would think, that I'd be coming back. And they certainly leave that door open story-wise, just to have the trickster more involved with something the boys are doing. But they don't let me know those things, so I'll find out when you find out.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
Hi.
Hi.
I know that Tall Tales, the first one, was filmed during the really terrible ice storm
Yes.
in Vancouver, and I'm wondering how much different the script ended up being from what they originally had given you, because I know that there was probably a lot of scene changes and ended up being inside. And
actually, it didn't change as much as you think, because we did get hit by it was right after, it was like during the aftermath of that, you were saying, of the park had already gotten sort of mowed down by the winds. It was right after that, and it did take longer to shoot. There was a couple of nights where we had to call wrap because pieces of camera equipment were blowing around and makes it hard to shoot the scene. So they actually did put the kibosh on shooting the episode for a few days. So it just meant really that we were there, an extra 3 days. But we actually shot everything per scene. Like, with him getting chased by the alien spotlight in the yard. They kept trying to shoot that and had to cancel because, the alien spotlight gets blown around and he's trying to follow the spotlight. So had to change that. It just made it more complicated. But they actually shot the script as it was intended to be shot.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
What was your favorite prank that the trickster played in Tall Tales?
Favorite prank the trickster played in Tall Tales? You have a favorite? Oh. The slow dancing was funny, but even though we didn't see it, I thought it was kind of funny that he had the guy probed over and over and over again, because who doesn't want to probe an enemy every now and then? I mean, not really, but have an enemy probe. I thought that it was clever, and fortunately they didn't shoot the scene to show us. So it was all the imagination. I thought the way that scene was structured too was very funny. It was the way it's like, and again, and again, and again. So I'm going to have to go. I rarely say this, but I'm a big fan of the probing.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hi.
Hello.
My name is Mary.
Hey, Mary.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
I was a really big fan of Jericho, and I was really bummed out that it got canceled. You did a really good job in the show. I was wondering if you could, because I'm probably never going to have an opportunity to ask anyone this question again, do you have like a behind-the-scenes kind of funny story, maybe including Speight,
All right. Should I just pretend I'm Speight and answer questions? Really fun. Jericho, I was just telling people backstage, Jericho was a really fun show to shoot. You had a group of people, it's a massive cast. We used to liken ourselves to Little House on the Prairie. There's a bunch of us, the whole town. And, CBS liked the show, but they didn't throw a ton of money at it, so the writers and producers really had to be creative in their storytelling to be able to get their show across without a lot of special effects, with a lot of elements, which actually I think made the show better, because it sort of forced them to be detailed in what story they were trying to tell. So we had a great time doing the show. That said, there was a lot of downtime, because there was a lot of us, and this is going to disappoint you. The only big prank that Skeet was involved in was, okay, I got in a fight with the sandwich lady. You're thinking, the sandwich lady? Yeah, it's just a ridiculous story. I can't believe I'm telling this story. It's just true nuts, right? So the lady who has the cart where you can go make a sandwich in your off time was there, and you're supposed to wear 2 plastic gloves while you're making the sandwich. I was rolling with the 1 plastic glove. I was doing the Michael Jackson sandwich thing. And just doing and she came in and she yelled at me to use 2 plastic gloves, and I said, but I'm only touching the condiments with 1 hand, so I don't really need a plastic glove on this hand. And she said, then out. I got booted from the sandwich restaurant. And I was livid. First of all, I've been jettisoned from a few bars, but barely from a snack area. And I was furious. So I went storming back to set, and I was telling the story as if it were life or death. And everybody's staring at me like, that's kind of a goofy story, dude. You're kind of a jerk. I'm like, really? It's like, yeah, it's like, oh gosh, I guess maybe I should have just worn 2 gloves and it would have gone away. Anyway, Skeet decided to teach me a lesson. He started cut out my headshot, my face, and started putting no Richard signs on various, everywhere we were going to get food. It was me with the line through it going, do not serve this man, and all over the set. So he had a laugh at my expense. As far as practical jokes that I played, I pretty much, the only thing, I like to mess with Bob Stevenson. Bob Stevenson's the guy who played the other cop. So Bob and I pretty much had every scene together. We worked with, we never met. We met doing that show, but we carpooled together because we lived a mile from each other. So we went to work together, hung out all day, came home, sometimes stopped and had a beer on our way home, and then do the whole routine every week. And people, so I saw so much of Bob. My favorite thing to do with Bob doesn't like to be messed with. which makes me want to mess with Bob. So, we were shooting that show in the Valley, in San Fernando Valley. We actually shot that show, believe it or not, on the exact same